Title: The Global Bridge: How to Avoid Cultural Offenses When Traveling. Clara had always dreamed of exploring the world. The idea of stepping into new cultures, meeting diverse people, and immersing herself in different traditions excited her beyond words. But as she packed her bags for her first big international adventure, Clara realized something that made her pause for a moment. She knew very little about the cultures she was about to visit. Would she say something wrong? Would she make a mistake that would offend someone? She didn't want to unintentionally disrespect anyone, especially when traveling abroad. She had heard countless stories about travelers who offended locals without even realizing it. Determined to avoid such mishaps, Clara decided that this trip would be more than just sightseeing. It would be an opportunity to learn, grow, and connect with people from all walks of life. She would learn the art of respecting cultural differences and bridging the gap between her own world and the unfamiliar ones she was about to discover. Clara's first stop was Cairo, Egypt. The air was warm and the vibrant markets were alive with the sounds of haggling. As Clara wandered through the bustling streets, she found herself mesmerized by the beauty of the city, the majestic pyramids, the sparkling Nile River, and the intricate designs of the ancient mosques. However, during her first lunch at a local restaurant, Clara was taken aback when the waiter placed a small dish of bread in front of her and expected her to eat it with her hands. She had seen others doing it around her but wasn't sure if it was polite for her to do the same. Feeling nervous, Clara hesitated, but then she remembered something she had read in her travel guide. In many Middle Eastern countries, eating with your right hand is a sign of respect. She smiled and followed suit, picking up a piece of bread with her right hand, just like the locals. The waiter smiled back, nodding approvingly. Clara felt relieved. She had made a small effort to understand a cultural norm, and it had made a big difference. After Egypt, Clara's next stop was Brazil. Here, she encountered a different set of cultural norms. At a local beach party, Clara was struck by the joy and warmth of the Brazilian people. They were friendly and lively, always ready to dance, laugh, and share stories. However, Clara quickly learned that Brazilians have a different way of greeting one another. When she met a few new friends, they embraced her with warm hugs and kisses on the cheek, something she was not used to back home in the US, where personal space was more highly valued. At first, Clara felt a little uncomfortable with the closeness, but she didn't want to offend anyone. She remembered her guidebook once again. In Brazil, personal space is often more fluid. It's common to greet people with a hug and a kiss on the cheek, even if you don't know them well. So, Clara took a deep breath, smiled, and returned the warm greeting, embracing the Brazilian way of connecting. She realized that embracing this new form of communication helped her build deeper, more meaningful relationships with the people she met along the way. Next, Clara's travels took her to Japan, a place she had long admired for its beauty, order, and rich culture. But she quickly realized that Japan's customs were very different from those in the countries she had visited before. During a visit to a peaceful Buddhist temple, Clara made a classic mistake. She started speaking loudly, excited to share her thoughts about the beautiful surroundings, without realizing that the temple was a place of quiet meditation and reflection. A kind monk, who had been watching her, approached and gently told Clara, "In our temple, silence is a form of respect. It helps us connect with the inner peace we seek." Clara was embarrassed but appreciated the monk's gentle approach. She immediately apologized and spent the rest of her time at the temple in thoughtful silence. By respecting the sacred space, Clara felt a deeper connection to the culture and the people of Japan. After Japan, Clara headed to India, a country known for its rich spirituality and diverse cultural landscape. In one of the small villages she visited, Clara accidentally made another mistake that could have caused a serious misunderstanding. She had been invited to visit a family's home for a traditional Indian dinner. When she arrived, she was offered a seat at the dinner table. However, Clara, eager to make a good impression, immediately began to serve herself, without realizing that in many parts of India, the eldest member of the family is served first as a sign of respect. The woman hosting the dinner quickly and kindly explained the custom, and Clara immediately apologized. She waited for the family matriarch to be served first, then followed suit. As she ate, she learned the importance of patience and respect in Indian culture values that are deeply embedded in the traditions of hospitality. By learning from this small misstep, Clara realized that understanding cultural norms required more than just reading guidebooks. It required humility, patience, and a willingness to learn from the people around her. As Clara continued her travels around the world, from the bustling streets of Istanbul to the tranquil beaches of Thailand, she had more moments of cultural discovery and occasional, but with each mistake, she grew wiser and more aware of how to navigate the complexities of international customs. By the time Clara returned home, she was no longer the same person who had first boarded the plane months earlier. She had learned that the key to avoiding cultural offenses was not just about following rules, but about engaging with people in a meaningful way, being open to learning and showing respect for their traditions, no matter how different they might seem. As Clara settled back into her routine at home, she couldn't help but feel grateful for the experiences she had gained during her travels. She had learned to navigate cultural differences with grace, and she understood the importance of showing respect to others, no matter where they came from. Her adventure had taught her that traveling was about more than just sightseeing. It was about understanding the world through the eyes of others, learning from their experiences, and becoming a global citizen who embraced diversity with open arms. Cultural awareness is an essential part of traveling the world. By learning about the customs and traditions of different countries, we can show respect and avoid unintentional offenses. The key to successful international travel lies in humility, patience, and a willingness to adapt. If you enjoyed Clara's global journey and would like to hear more stories about cultural exploration and travel tips, subscribe and follow for more adventures around the world.